I think this will interest some people. This session is about how to write conference papers. So, sorry. However, this is related to conference. So, our faculty members of KIT are going to present their research or their work on different topics. And we will discuss later on. At the last, I will summarize and comment on their what they present. Thank you. So I request Mrs. Mansi R. Dikshit to present their work.
Hello, the session chair, all the people on dais, speakers on dais, and the audience here. Today I am going to represent the 5G, 6G technologies which are yet to come. We have yet to experience those technologies today. So, next slide. The contents of my discussion are what is the 5G technology, what is the parameters of 6G technology. Okay, thank you. What are the parameters and what is our India's mission or India's vision statement regarding the 6G technology. Okay. So basically, initially, this slide is from the students' point of view. All the students, you might remember that we have started with 1G era and it started from 1980s. And all of us, we have experienced from 2G onwards, 2G, 3G, where the SMS started in 3G. In 4G, you are experiencing right now the YouTube channels, which you can observe on your mobiles. You can access the Play Store apps that is covered under 4G communication. 5G, in India, we have done the investment yet, but we have not experienced 5G yet in all the rural areas, etc. 6G is expected to be launched around 2030 in India. Now, let us see. This is the electromagnetic spectrum which is known to us right from the visible light spectrum, infrared, red, etc. Right now, what we are interested in is what is the difference between the 4G, 5G, and 6G. Concerned with the wavelengths and the frequency spectrum, you know that there is reciprocal or inverse relationship, and the wavelengths of the terahertz frequency that is yet to come, that is 6G technology, is nearly in the range you can see. Wavelength-wise, it is 10 raised to 12 hertz, means 30 micrometer to 3 micrometer range, and it may be extended further, that goes into nanometer range of the spectrum that we are observing over here. Now, I have included in this slide what are the losses that will take place when we adopt ourselves to 6G technology. Actually, there will be a lot of molecular absorption losses. Those will be available, and we have to take care of those molecular absorption losses. Okay. Now, this roadmap, you can see what happens in case when we are switching from 1G, 2G, etc., up to 6G. Now, all of you are familiar with up to the 3G and 4G. The third year students, you have got, you know about CDMA, QPSK, which are being used in 3G. Then 4G also. In 5G, we'll be using the applications like video calls, digital video broadcasting, etc., and we'll be using the applications in the areas concerned with, say for example, the machine-to-machine communication, then the voice communications, as well as IoT, smart city, smart factories, smart home appliances, in case of the telemedicine facilities given to the senior citizens, etc. Then in case of the 6G, we expect a lot more from the 6G communication evolution. I will say it is a great revolution also that will take place. We'll be having very high sampling frequency or carrier frequency of the order of terahertz, and with which you can imagine that the 100 gigabytes and even more than 1 terabyte per second, that will be our, sampling ratio or spectral efficiency which will be available. So the latency will go on reducing in millisecond, in microsecond as we go on with the 6G technology and further. So let us see as an example. With respect to 5G, the 6G technology will be, you can say, around 100 times better, 100 times faster. Downloading will be 100 times faster. An example I have given over there, that a full-length HD movie you can download in your mobile phones. You will be able to download within 1 second time or few seconds time. So we say that there will not be much lag when you are observing any kind of applications or you are using the gaming softwares. You will find it very good when you will be using the 6G type of technology. Now here, the merits of 5G I have mentioned over. You can see the merits. The very important thing is India can build smart factories. We can build the automation, intelligence, artificial intelligence-based factories, as well as in KIT you might have seen the augmented reality. AR/VR lab is installed. If you have not seen, you can see the AR/VR lab in KIT also. So you can experience the augmented reality through the 3D or high definition video games. You can experience it on your mobile phones also, the AR/VR applications. Okay, IoT, here, why I am talking about this? Because I see a lot of opportunities to our students to get their respective careers in the IoT base or in the augmented reality, and 6G will become a sort of service provider. You can get a lot of service areas, new opportunities at your doorstep because of the 6G revolution. Now, you can see the distributed cloud computing that will be very highly efficiently available to you when the 6G technology or 5G technology is available with us. Now, this is a roadmap concerned with technologies. When we talk about the requirements of 6G, requirements of 5G, then requirements of or evaluation or implementation of 5G, and how exactly the 5G or 6G technologies will be implemented. When the technologies will be implemented worldwide or globally, we have to see in the next slide over here. See the map of the world. You can see here India. I'll point to the map of India in that. Okay, I hope the green color shows that we have invested, Indian government has invested a lot in the 5G technology, but yet we have not implemented or deployed 5G technology yet. Still, our Prime Minister has announced that we'll be shortly, trying to implement the infrastructure development and deployment of 6G also, will initiate all the activities. Now the terahertz frequency range and the millimeter wave or sub-millimeter wave, you can call it, as the progress. Now China, our neighbor, is quite ahead of us in this line. China has launched a satellite and they have carried out the testing of 206.25 gigabits per second. This rate they have achieved. They have completed the experimentation, and they have tested in their lab environment the data at this particular 206.25 gigahertz, that is in terahertz range actually. Now, if you see the experiment, they call it as vortex millimeter waves. What do you mean by vortex? That is coming under terahertz frequency range. And they will build now what are the opportunities to India, in front of India? Actually, we have to build the transmitters, we have to build the receivers, where exactly we will be using these receivers, high performance transmitters and receivers to test the 6G. Okay. Now, there is a question that always arises when the 4G was initiated, 5G is initiated. There is always a question whether these wavelengths or these frequencies are harmful to human beings. Okay? So, terahertz frequency, you can see it is, if it is used at low power, then it will not be harmful to human skin. It will be penetrated, the signals can get penetrated through human skin, but they will not be harmful to humans. Okay. So now let us see what are the expectations from the 6G technology. Basically, IEEE has announced that we can use 100 gigahertz to 3 terahertz. This is the frequency spectrum. And in this band, we have to develop our transmission channels, mobile communication standards. Okay. And we have to develop a sort of high security, then privacy, maintaining privacy, the 6G channels and 6G spectrum to be utilized. Okay. Now let us see that these are the different expectations. In these different areas listed over here, we have to march ahead when we implement 6G technology. So basically, AR, VR and IoT, we are introduced right now while using 4G itself, but it will be the facilities will get enhanced and we'll be developing the facilities using them largely. Major community, major industries will be using these facilities in their companies or in their industries. So a sort of infrastructure development will be required when we go for 6G. Okay. So there is a bold line that I have mentioned here. Till January 2023, there is no universally accepted standard that has been developed in case of 6G technology. Okay, these are the few countries which are having a long march, you can say, in case of 6G technology. We are yet behind them. In October 2022, we had done the auction of 5G spectrum in India. Still, our 15,000 villages lack of the 4G connectivity itself. Then in few areas, we don't get 3G connectivity also. Then still we are developing the 5G spectrum. We have made some investment for 5G spectrum, 5G networks. And in India, we are lagging behind all those European countries which I have mentioned ahead, as well as China, UK, USA also. But still our Prime Minister and our government is planning for implementation of 6G technology. Okay. Now, Bharat 6G Vision document was unveiled by our Prime Minister recently on 22nd March 2023. And we say that, the government says that enough funds will be provided and we need to develop, we need to assume leadership. Okay, we need to work upon setting the standard, just like the IEEE standards, we have to design a standard which will be implemented for 6G technologies. All the European countries, US and Russia, China, etc., there is no standard developed as such globally or worldwide standard is not existing nowadays. So our Prime Minister thinks that we should be working upon the development of the standard, towards the development of the 6G standard, which will be accepted globally. Okay. So Atmanirbhar Bharat, once again I think that all the students who are present here will get an opportunity to work in the area in the domain of communications, 6G, 5G communications, and you will get your opportunities to develop your career paths, not only in the IT sector, but also in the ENTC proper 5G or 6G communication line. You may get your career developed through our Vande Bharat mission or Bharat 6G mission document, which is mentioned by our Prime Minister. So I see here opportunities to our students, career opportunities in 6G technology, telecom sector. We expect that we should not be only users, because entire world say often thinks of India as in terms of users, because we are more than 135 crore citizens in India. But we should be not only users, we should be also not only importers, we should be also exporters of telephone equipment, telecommunication equipment to the entire world. That is, under the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme, we can see that you will get a career path while developing the 5G, 6G equipments in India itself. So we can have these self-driven cars, smart wearables, like human sensory inputs can be sensed and utilized in 6G directly. So these are the few slides for Bharat 6G mission document, how it will enable us to see the convoy communication, number of, say, artificial intelligence for connected vehicles. Then you can develop the new chipset designs for 6G technology, equipments for 6G technology. Now, where actually we need to have the asset protection while developing the 6G, you can see all these things listed over here. Health monitoring, feature recognition, decision making like law enforcement, and the air quality measurements, gas and toxicity measurements, or sensory interfaces like different sensors to be utilized which affect human life, we can do with the help of the 6G technologies. Okay, these are the different types of communications. One of it is holographic communications. Hallmarks or 3D holograms can be utilized. 3D images can be utilized. You can think of it as a sort of, say, encryption keys or reconfigurable keys to be utilized in 6G technology. The holographic data should be used in the 6G technology, that is expected. Then the tactile communication or tactile internet will be deployed when we are having the image analysis. We can have the 3D or 4D type of cinematic experience with the help of tactile communications. Then you should have the human-centric communications with the help of these. I can see the key features for the future incoming 6G technology, what we can do with it, what is the frequency range, how exactly we can utilize it using the sunlight, how exactly we can, say, reduce the power required for wireless, using wireless power charging. Then how we can increase the artificial intelligence, operational intelligence, environmental intelligence, and service intelligence over here. So at the end, I've included their blockchain technology. A lot of the things have been spoken in this conference regarding the blockchain technology, so I will not talk about it once again. So let us await for the 6G communication revolution, which will reach to our footsteps by 2030. And all of you, I wish you best of luck, all the students, to achieve your career paths in communication industry in the 5G or technology era, 6G technology era. So thank you very much.
It was nice. Of course, the theme of the conference is 6G, and Madam has given, actually I could identify some point which I did not see earlier, and that was about road of 6G by Government of India, very, very ambitious plan of Government of India. It is really ambitious. Why I say it is ambitious? Because I know, I understand how much research is required to be done, and do we have that research ecosystem India has or not? We have to bring in so many researchers, even from Indians from outside, because I understand a lot of very different mathematical tools are required, and that which nobody has studied yet. In 4G, 5G itself, I did research, and I know that I used new mathematics. So I understand how much, how ambitious this program is. Thank you, madam. And I invite Dr. D.K. Singh to present his work. Thank you. Hello.
चोगली मैडम दिया नहीं है, दिया है ना?
Hello.
ठीक.
I invite by the time, because there is some misplacement of the presentation. So, yeah. So I call upon madam, Sangeeta Jogule, madam.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, all of you. Myself, Dr. S.R. Sogule. I am not interested to give the 6G technology because I think continuously for 2 days, all the students are going to listen about the 6G technology. Now my interest is give some idea in my research field. So my research field is filter bank and its applications. I have completed doctorate in filter bank and its filter bank, design of the oversampled filter bank and application for a two-dimensional image under the guidance of Dr. R.S. Patil Madam, Walchand College of Engineering, Sangli. So what is the meaning of filter bank? In that, this is the analysis filter bank. In that, there are input is given, and according to our application, how many filters we have to design, and we are using for the FR filter bank. So here, it is ideal response is mentioned over there in upper diagram, and the frequency response for aliasing and non-aliasing, that is mentioned over there. So in the aliasing means it happens because of the frequency sampling frequency we are using critical sampling, oversampling and undersampling. Because of that, the variation of the frequency bands and the aliasing occurs over there. Now the next target is the synthesis filter bank, because when you are going to design the filter bank, there is analysis bank and the synthesis filter bank. So in the previous slide, after the filters design H1Z, H2Z, H3Z likewise, we need to downsample those filters, and later on we are going to upsample those filters, and then we are going to design the synthesis filters. So synthesis filter is interpolation, and the filter bank filters are designed at the synthesis side, and the analysis side the filters and downsampled filters are designed. So here when you are using this 4-channel filter bank, so there 4 filters are used, analysis filter bank, and the downsample factor is 3. When this such type of situation happens over there, this is called as a oversampled filter bank. And when we are using the 4 channels and downsample factor is 4, it means that it is a critical sample filter bank. So there are subband processing units there in between that. The lot many researchers work on the filter bank and process the different types of subbands as per their application. So this is one example I have mentioned over there. We can use for the transmission, means in communication field, we can use the frequency band or the filter bank, and at the analysis side, get the input, signal 1, signal 2, signal 3, go through the filter analysis filter bank, then apply for the subbands for different communication channels, and then again we can collect at the synthesis filter bank. Before that we are using the interpolation technique. So likewise it is applicable for the communication also. There is one type of the adaptive filter also used over there. As per our application, the subband filtering, and later on we are using adaptive filter, and then again used for the summation. These are some huge area. It is just, you feel that from the figure we cannot say that exactly which type of target we are going to define, which type of problem we are going to assign. So for that we have to go through the different literature or different research papers, and then we'll come to the conclusion. Now it is a ideal analysis and synthesis filter bank, where I already explained there are 4 channels, 4 downsampled, 4 upsamples, and 4 synthesis filters. So likewise analysis and synthesis filter we are using, it is called as a critical sampled filter bank. So these are the frequency response for the critical sampled and analysis filter bank. So in the same way we are using for the time division multiplexing for that in the communication. And these are some DFT, one type of the another filter bank is launched over there, that is a DFT and IDFT modulated filter bank that we can apply by using the digital signal processing. Okay, so these are the, I already explained about the what is the meaning of perfect reconstruction of filter bank. By using this, I have designed and applied the filter bank for the 2-dimensional image. So from the 2-dimensional image, I worked on apply the convert, first of all design the filter in the digital signal processing for 1-dimensional, convert into the 2-dimensional, and then for that design the critical sampled filter bank, design the oversampled filter bank. The scientists Hartnett and Stewart, they worked on the oversampled filter bank. So I got the input from those papers of the Hartnett and this one Stewart, and I worked on the oversampled filter bank, and then there are different channels are assigned, starting from the 3 channels to up to the 64 channels. Later on I not coming to the conclusion, I cannot attain the exact output or the replica of the output which is equal to input, and I stopped over there, and I just write the mathematical proof how we can get the output over there for the 64 channel FR filter bank. Okay, so this other means it is just explanation about the decimation and what is the meaning of oversample, that I already explained. What is the critical sample? Critical sampled means downsample factor which is equal to number of channels, that is critical sampled. If it is less, the downsample factor, it is called as a oversampled. And we can use for the different types of the application. So I directly come to the application where generally, because these are the different types of filters are there. The first one is the para-unitary perfect reconstruction filter bank, cosine modulated perfect reconstruction filter bank, non-critical downsample, means the new researcher can enter in this field to make the research in the filter bank, DFT modulated filter bank, then non-uniform filter bank. There is another concept because every channel differently calculated, different sampling factors are used over there, decimation, interpolation parameters are used differently. That is called as a non-uniform filter bank. And the wavelet filter bank which give the lot many supports for every field of the research. Okay. So this is one example of the 2-channel filter bank, and these are the response for the different M channel filter bank. And this is the frequency response of the filter bank. Means here the 3rd year students already have the awareness about design of the FR filter. So in the FR filter we are using the Hamming window, Hanning window, Kaiser window. So by using that different types of window technique, we can apply a single filter and likewise we can design the different types of filters, right? So this is one innovative things right now it is going on for the medical field, how to use the filter bank in the medical field. So this is one case study. So automated identification of sleep disorder types using triplet half band filter, okay, by using a machine learning algorithm. So what did here, generally when you are going to visit, if there is a sleeping disorder over there, because of the blinking of eyes, because of the movement of leg, because of the breathing in different way, so because of that, if there is a sleeping disorder is there, so we are going to visit to the doctor, and doctor is generally, general practice is that they are, the psychometric test will be there, questionnaire will be there, and according to that, they are going to clear the sleeping disorder. But actually, it is a time-consuming task. So to avoid this, there is a classification of the sleeping disorder, and later on, we are using the machine learning algorithm to classify these different types of disorders and immediately give the instruction to the this one. So actually, it is a 2021 paper. It is a recent new work where the people are having a tremendous scope. They can enter in the biomedical field and get the input. So for that, we are using a filter bank for the EEG signal and finding out the accuracy. I just have a look on this one. This is the block diagram of the research. The first one, the data is taken, that is extraction of the EEG from PSHG data. So PSHG data means what? There are different stages, 5 stages are there. At starting stage of the sleeping, 3 to 5 minutes, we are not taking the input, but later on stage 1, stage 2, deep sleeping, and likewise 4, 5 stages are we are getting, and then after that, apply that EEG signal to the processing unit. So before applying the processing unit, we require the pre-processing of the data, then segmentation of a data for the 30-second epochs. Epochs means it is generated at the EEG waveform. Then grouping of epochs into sleep stage as per whatever the stages I have explained. Then wavelet decomposition, here exactly we are applying the filter bank. And here all the subbands are, we are going to separate out and process on this different type of the subbands. So it is called as a wavelet decomposition. Then Hazard parameter extraction. It is an extraction from the finding out the disorders of the human being at the sleeping stage. Then supervised machine learning classifier is used over there, and there are different types of 8 type of the data is given and 8 abnormalities are given, and then after that you will get the final output. So it is a recent paper. If somebody is interested to do the research in the filter bank using a machine learning, you can use this block diagram, apply, go through the different research papers are there, and you can enjoy the research in the medical field also. So this is some graphical representation for power spectrum of EEG signal we are getting over there. These are the different stages I have explained right now. So there are sleeping stages at deep sleep, the starting sleep. Likewise, after some time periods, we are going to finding out the epoch and then give the epoch to the analysis for the feature extraction. Okay, so this study aims to develop an automated identification of a various sleep disorder, and from that we are using a triplet hub and filter bank to analyze the different types of the abnormalities in the patient. Okay, so then accuracy is calculated. I have explained the accuracy previously. So again, it is not a restricted field. Under my guidance, already my 2 PhD students work under the filter bank, which are applicable. One work on the medical field, that is EEG signal analysis. Other student works on the speech processing. So it is a very big area. You can enter in as per your application, as per recent current research, you can enter in the research field. So sky is the limit. Only thing is that you will have to jump in the sky and search it out what exactly is required in the market. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to present my research. Thank you, sir.
Hello. Thank you, Chaudhary madam. And I think you presented very different thing. However, 6G will offer the use case like human bond communication, and in that these filtering filters, I mean implemented on chip, can be used for I mean real time sensing of the parameters of coming out or getting from EEG, and that can be sent to hospital or what, that can be on the network or to the hospitals. So these actually now a student may think why we want, hello student, please listen 1 minute. I want to say something about this. Actually you think that now I will go to Infosys or something and then that's all. I will get 20 lakh package, no more. Wait 1 year and that is gone. So please, you have to now in this generation has to devise our own systems. No more we will import from US. Our Prime Minister of India do not want any import. We want to develop it here. And now you will require real actually understanding of what you are learning. Not anymore simply learning and attending the exam and getting some marks and going into 20 lakh package on software and taking the patch from Google and creating the software and just that's all. That will not happen. Please remember. So you will have to, what madam said, you will have to enter into it. Many people might have to do PhDs or at least masters, good master programs. Then only you will get the jobs. Otherwise, no, people will not entertain you because already in industry, I am working for industry integration of the university, my university. And what we do is, we are looking at going to industry, finding out what industry is doing, and finding out what they are importing. That things we are developing here in India up to prototype, and then we will incubate, and we can create a startup or new company. Or if some company want to take up that product, we will license it to them. So until universities or colleges work like this, they will not sustain, they will be closing. You will have to close the colleges or universities. So please, and you will have to study now for this. People will not just see your degrees and they will take you. No, they want some skill, very perfect. So यहाँ बैठ के ऐसे आराम से उधर उधर बातें कर रहे हैं, चिट-चाट कर रहे हैं, वो आपके लिए ही है. And this is very important. Signal processing is a central to all development, technological development of the world. Signal processing. So you have to understand it anyhow, today or tomorrow. You will be forced to do it. Okay? Thank you very much, ma'am. You have given another dimension to your discussion. Thank you. I will call upon. I will call Dr. D.K. Singh to present his work. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Now I'm going to present something new. We are listening 6G, so many things since last 2 days. Now I'm going to tell you something about something interesting topic, that is cyber security education and approach. We have discussed a lot about so many things, but nobody has discussed in detail about security. Today, cyber security is a hot cake. Presently, 1 lakh people is required in cyber security, but there is not available candidate. Job is there, but candidate is not there. Now we are planning to train at least 10 lakhs cyber security students. For that, oh sorry, I have to finish. I have started. Yes, sir. Cyber Vidyapit Foundation. Next slide. अच्छा यहाँ से होता है यहाँ से अच्छा अपने next अरे हाँ yes that's good. Dimension of cyber battlefield. That is, we are having 3 warfare, that is information war, cyber war and cognitive bar. This information, deep fake and cognitive social media, students, I just tell you, I'm not going to read all those things. You please go through fast because I'm having very less time. If I'll read, it will take more time because I'm having some vision problem. So it is better you read it. यहाँ से कहाँ change होता है मैडम? Next slide. Yes, please. Now, non-state actor in asymmetric cyber war. That is Ukrainian state nuclear nuclear power, Greek natural gas distractor attack. Now, everybody is aware about, since last more than 1 year, this Greek, these things, Ukraine and Russia war is going on. There, this cyber security, how it acts, it is related to the same. So please go through it fast. Have you read it? Fast. Change. अपने आप कैसे चेंज होता है मैडम? अच्छा, किससे? ऊपर वाले से? अच्छा, इससे ऊपर नीचे? अच्छा, अच्छा, thank you. Now, complex and costly cyber defense tools. Here you will find with 75 and more tools to manage. Not only it cause logical challenge, but only puts strain on budget, time to invest in people than tool. Right? We require more than 1 lakh participants immediately. Government of India require it, but it is not available. So regarding job, कहाँ होता है मैडम? किससे कैसे करना है? अच्छा, वहाँ से उन लोगों को करना है. अच्छा, नेक्स्ट वहाँ बोलना है. अच्छा, हाँ ठीक, good. So changing dimension of cyber battlefield, cyber defense engineering, cyber resilience, cyber security and information security. As you have seen, in 1990, information security was required. In 2010, cyber security is required. And cyber resilience is required in 2020, and 2022, cyber defense engineering is required. Next. Now here, if you see, different courses are available in Cyber Vidyapit. It is related to the same. Please go through it. Next. Now, crisis in cyber defense engineering resourcing are ISC2, the current shortage of cyber engineering resource is 4.01 million. See, this much requirement is there. These are vacancies in different fields. It is not available. That's why this Cyber Vidyapit has started. So this is opportunity for all the students, those who are really interested. So I think students, those who are present who are here, they should act as mentor, should know themselves, but at least communicate minimum 10 students. 10 or more than that, it will be advisable, because this, I think this should be presented in the morning when the number of students are more. Now number of students are very less. So you students, the responsibility of you is, you are not supposed to learn only for yourself, but you have to share this information to your colleagues. Thank you very much. Next, structured approach of for cyber education. Now, education intelligence, all of the security skills and competence of the various functional specialty into a common body of knowledge and strive to produce cyber defense specialists and professionals capable of vision and proactive response. Training. Training strives to produce relevant and needed cyber defense skill and competence. Awareness is not training. The purpose of awareness presentation is simple: to focus attention on security awareness presentation and intended to allow individual to recognize it and security concerns and respond accordingly. Next. Now, as you have seen, these are the different subjects which is going to tout for cyber security in different courses. So if you will see system engineering, mathematics, statistics, forensic law and regulation, behavioral science, criminology, data science, mechatronics, robotics, artificial intelligence, electronics and communications, SCADA, Industry 4.0, which is in the morning Colonel was explaining. Then IoT, 5G communication, programming, cryptography and crypto analysis, war strategy, threat intelligence, and geopolitics. Next. Here you will see multi-modular approach to interdisciplinary education in cyber defense that you have already seen. To understand cyber defense, you have seen the different subjects to be taught. I hope most of the students, those who are aware about this, there is no requirement of any degree for this. Only they should have minimum knowledge about all these subjects. Here we'll see cyber major, cyber electives, cyber modules, and cyber security for all. The model all called a multidiscipline, multi-level, multi-thread model allows potential candidates to specialize in subjects of cybersecurity along with relevant interdisciplinary subject matter. Next. Cyber defense capacity building. Certificate course in cyber defense, discipline in cyber, these are different courses which is available. Now, it is good information for you to know that the course is going to start in next week, next 1 week. So those who are interested to join, they can join online. That is good. This thing is good for every student from anywhere in the world. They can join this course. Next. Cyber defense engineering skill set and mass scale capacity building is a key to be in the game of asymmetric cyber war. The education system needs serious rebooting. Next. Cyber crime reporting started in 1930. Now this is the website. So please go through this and get ready for getting good job. In here, the package, which was telling something about all this package, Professor Deshmukh. So I would like to tell those who want to earn per month from 1 lakh rupees to 10 lakh, depending upon different courses. So very high money is here because vacancies, a lot of vacancies are there, but number of students are not available. So I hope those who want early bird job, they should join all this course. Thank you so much.
Hello. Thank you, Dr. D.K. Singh. Yes, he discussed a very important issue of cyber security, not in concern to 6G, however, in context to national security and other aspects, global, geopolitics. And there are, you know that there are 3 defense forces who are prominent. Now, 4th force is missile, also is a force. Army, Navy, Air Force, along with that missile force. And now there will be a cyber security force. And because most of the things, Professor D.K. Singh's slide included, he commented upon that, was the Russian gas pipeline attack. Now what he told was, it was done by, some non-state actor. That is actually a propaganda, that itself is a propaganda. Cyber security, using this, creating propaganda machinery by using cyber networks, and they create this propaganda. Actually, most people believe that it is created by American agencies themselves. So, these are very, very important aspects. They create rifts in our societies, politicians, our political bodies, our financial systems, and collapse our governments. So and by just creating an opinion, by using these cyber networks. So it is very, very important. You should be very careful when listening to even the news channels or some media. You should recheck it 2-3 times before making an opinion about something. This is very important. I have, and daily we can see this. People make opinions about somebody forcefully. Misopinions or opinions, whatever. Thank you, Dr. D.K. Singh. I will call upon Dr. Gurav to present her work. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My dear friends and colleagues from KIT's College of Engineering and from other colleges. Myself, I am Dr. Uma Prashant Gurav, working as Head of Computer Science and Engineering, Artificial Intelligence, Machine Learning and Data Science Department, KIT's College of Engineering. Today I am here to present about my research work on design of efficient stock forecasting model using stock market behavioral pattern. Why I'm saying here stock market behavioral pattern? Because stock market is highly volatile in nature. It's highly dynamic. Currently, whatever research has been done, they are considering long-term data sets. They are not considering the short-term fluctuations in the market. So my research work addresses it all. So these were the research papers published. I won't be going into details. So what was the research motivation behind all these things? As you know, that stock market is nothing but a backbone of any country's backbone of any country's financial sector. Important from both financial research and investment point of view. Whereas when we look at the stock market, the data, there are so many factors which are involved into it. So what we are applying the machine learning algorithms to analyze it. Actually, machine learning algorithm, what is the role here? It will identify the hidden patterns pattern it will identify, and based on that how the output is getting generated, and that output we are predicting. That was the main major aspect behind this particular research work which I carried out. So most of the stock traders, they use technical, fundamental or time series analysis. Now why it is time series analysis? Because it is based on times. So we are considering the several time stamps into it. Now as you know that stock market, it varies every minutes, every minute's fractions of, if it opens at 10 a.m., 10, 5 a.m., it will be different value. Likewise, it keeps on changing. So we need to consider the time series analysis. Time series analysis plays very, very important role in all these things. So existing stock forecasting models, they are not considering the global stock market indices. Like as you must have been aware that if any global, any news is there that affects the stock market indices, so when the NASDAQ closes, National Stock Exchange starts, or S&P 500, so there are the different timings of these stock markets opening and closing. So of course, we need to consider the global stock market indices also while considering this, because there are sentiments. Sentiments are also affecting the stock market in a lot manner. So current stock market, stock forecasting model also, they do not consider the short-term fluctuating factors whichever are there. So we need to consider all these things. And since the stock market is highly non-linear, dynamic and all, so lot many things could be explored, and that's what, that was the research motivation behind taking this particular topic. So in this we have the research objective was to design adaptive modified backpropagation neural network. Now since neural networks, they mimic the human brain behavior, right? So we are talking about neuroinformatics and so many things, and ensembled machine learning algorithms. So we are trying, I have designed here modified backpropagation neural network, which will be automatically adjusting the weights as soon as the stock market is falling down. It will be sensing those fluctuations and it will be adapting that behavior. And we will, this has been analyzed by using hybrid machine learning algorithms on various global stock market indices such as S&P 500, NASDAQ and National Stock Exchange. Because one market, let's say US, Iran war or anything, the sentiment changes, the stock market if in NASDAQ or S&P 500 changes the values, same is, it is going to affect on our country as well. And to design intelligent time series based forecasting model for both long and short-term behavior pattern of dynamic stock market using long short-term memory as well as recurrent neural networks, log bilinear model, and to design the stock forecasting model based on the external parameters. There were several external parameters which were affecting the stock market. So we have considered all these things while designing the this stock forecasting model. So this was a research contribution. It's a lot of research work, so I'll just focus on key points and then I'll just go fast as there is a time restriction. So this adaptive stock forecasting model using modified backpropagation neural network, this work which has been published with IEEE Explore. So actually here we have considered one major factor, that NASDAQ stops trading when just before or at the beginning of National Stock Exchange. So modified backpropagation neural network, it is self-adaptive in nature. As soon as it senses that the stock market is tumbling down or it is going up, it will sense those, derivative of those gradients will be calculated, and whatever is the error that will be backpropagated, neural network will adjust the weights and it will be recalculating the weights. Then we have designed this recurrent neural network and log bilinear model. That is a recurrent neural network and log bilinear stock forecasting model, where recurrent neural network is for long-term duration of the stock markets, whereas log bilinear model will be sensing for the short-term fluctuations. So we have combined both. We have tried to address the both issues of long-term as well as short-term data sets. Okay, fine. Yeah. Then log bilinear. What is this log bilinear model is about? Since you must have seen while calculation of any mathematical formulation, 2 raised to 0, 1, 2 raised to 2, 4, 2 raised to 3 is 8, 2 raised to 4, 16, 2 raised to 10 is 1024. So from 2 raised to 0 is equal to 1 to 2 raised to 10, 1024. So we are, this is exponential growth, right? So whenever we are sensing those fluctuations, when we are taking, why this model is called as log bilinear model? Because we don't want to go for unnecessary iterations. So we want to avoid unnecessary details, and we will be taking important relevant details. So in that case, what we had done here, we had calculated a log bilinear model. We have designed that log bilinear model, and that we have incorporated into it. Yes, yes, yes. And fourth one is the, even the stock market depends on external fluctuating factors like COVID-19. During the COVID-19, other companies' stocks, right, like tourism industry and all, hospitality sector, they had come down, whereas telecom sector and other sectors were increasing like anything. So we have designed another CI, RN and LBL model where we have considered the sentiments. So that is another. So it is consisting of 244 trading points. Since the base paper which was taken from Chinese stock exchange, so whatever data set they have considered, and similar on that platform, we have done the comparative analysis. So these were the performance measure, moving averages, performance error, as well as root mean square error. So data set, now as you can see, the results which were obtained is like whatever is shown in the black line, those are existing model, whereas modified backpropagation neural network, it is giving lesser root mean square error as well as moving averages, performance error. Less is the error, more is the accuracy of that particular model. So we are getting improved accuracy. So similar is the case with the NASDAQ stock market as well as National Stock Exchange. So what, basically here machine learning works on the principle of, let's say 100% is the data set, 70% will be going for training and 30% for the testing. So let's say if I am taking the data set from 2010 to 2020, so that 2010 to 2020 will be taken as test training data set. So more is the training, more accurate are the results. So 2000 to 2010 training, and 2011 to let's say that time onwards will be testing. So since we have got the actual values also as well as the predicted values also. So whatever is the difference between actual values and predicted value, that error is calculated and that is back propagated, and the weights are adjusted accordingly. So that is how we have designed with the algorithm. So here this was the methodology where this f of x ILV, V depicts the information of that particular company, and L is the instances. Now why these are nothing but, let's say ILV, IL minus 1 V and IL minus 2 V. What is this? These are the timestamp. Let's say stock market is opening at 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. another value, 11 a.m. another value. Likewise, we keep on gathering the information. So it is for short term as well as time specific transition, whatever short term fluctuation, that is also sensing. It is this machine learning algorithm, which is ensembled machine learning algorithm, it is sensing, it is self-adaptive in nature, it is flexible enough to learn on itself, make itself intelligent enough, and it will be predicting. So this way we are getting somewhere around 94% of accuracy. So this is a log bilinear model. As I have explained you, when we take the log on both the sides, log 2 base 2 gets nullified, log n raised to 2 raised to k, so that will be, we will be having a better performance accuracy because algorithmic complexity reduces when we go for log bilinear model. So this was a base paper. You can see that, what was that, that is 00156.sz. Likewise, we have extracted each and every company's data, and that we have taken in the research work. So now I would like to tell here about direction prediction accuracy. What is direction prediction accuracy? Let's say YT plus 1. Let's say I will just take one company's example. Let's say Reliance company's stock market value. If YT plus 1 means next instance value is 1800, and before that timestamp the value is, let's say, 1700. So 100 rupees difference. And here I am getting the negative value. YT plus 1 means expected, predicted value. So if that is going to come negative, if it is lesser than 0, that means the stock market is decreasing. The values are decreasing, otherwise it is increasing. So that way we have got the direction prediction accuracy, and that direction prediction accuracy we have submitted. So this is the one where you can see that orange and red color are actual values and predicted values. So actual values and predicted values are overlapping with each other. So similar is the case with the, let's say this blue line, it is training data set, and the values, red color are the actual values and orange color are the predicted values. So actual and predicted values are overlapping. So these were the factors which we had considered while evaluating the model. Yes, sir. See, now you can see here that 2019-12-24, the closing actual value was 284, whereas the predicted value is 287. Here, next is 289 rupees, whereas predicted value is 288. 289, 290, 291, 292, 293, 294. Likewise, we have got somewhere around 94% of accuracy for stock market predictions. Okay, fine. So this is about another work where we have considered the US election sentiment also in stock market. So our graph is generated which will give the indications when to buy and when to sell. So red here indicates that when to sell, and when it is increasing, that time it will be sensing this recurrent neural network model, and it will be indicating that to buy the stocks at that particular. So this way we have done the graphical analysis. So it is suggesting when to buy and when to sell. So as you can see that the graph is going up, that time you need to buy the stock, and whenever it is coming down, it is giving us the indication to sell. So this is the gradient descent, how we have calculated it all and how we have incorporated it into machine learning. What is the aim behind telling you all these things? Because now only ma'am has presented that filter band optimization things. So you can incorporate these AI ML based techniques in your research work as well. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Hello, thank you, ma'am. And I suppose now onwards we will get great predictions of this, and you can purchase right stock. Thank you. And now I will call upon Dr. Desai to present her work.
Good afternoon all. Honorable Chairperson of this session, resource persons and my dear friends. At the outset, let me clear one thing. I am from physics background, not from what is the topic of today's conference, that's 6G and wireless technology. My work is in physics, and I am going to make presentation on very different topics. And I hope you have to listen to these topics because we have no interdisciplinary approach. When organizing committee member Dr. Dikshit madam asked me to make the presentation, I made this point clear, and she permitted me to make this presentation. Thank you organizing committee, Dr. Chavan sir and Dr. Dikshit madam. My topic is genetic tool CRISPR. Now we all know that in every human, every organism, there is a cell, it is made up of cell, and in the nucleus of the cell, there is the set of definite number of chromosomes. For example, in human being, it is 46. In maize, it is 10, and we have different sets. And on these chromosomes, there is particular sequence of genes, and this sequence, it decides all your features and functions of different organs. Sometimes there is mutation, there is change, modification in the genetic sequence during fertilization. We call it as a mutation, and due to this mutation, there is change in properties or the features. And so we can say that these mutations are the base for evolution. So we start from unicellular organism, or that is amoeba, and now we have evolved in the process of evolution, that is human being or Homo sapiens sapien. Now for genetic engineering, very precise and efficient genome modification is required. Now this evolution process is natural, but now we have very ultra-modern techniques, and using this modern technology, we have brought this evolution process in the laboratory, and that we call as a genetic engineering. So that genetic engineering, it enables us to change this genetic sequence as per our desire, and to make or to produce the properties or the qualities as in the organism as per our desire. So the tool that we use in editing this sequence, we call it as a nuclease. So nuclease is one type of enzyme, and it is used to disrupt or cut the nucleic acid, that is DNA or RNA. Now we know that DNA is the double-stranded helical structure, and what we do using the nuclease, we decide the position in the DNA where we want to make a cut. So this nuclease make a cut there, and we know that every living organism has a natural ability to repair or to heal the wound. So there is continuous regeneration and degeneration of the cells. So DNA also having this ability, and it repairs itself. When we make a cut, it repairs itself. And in that repairing mechanism, there is change in genetic sequence. Now actually this was observed first time in bacteria, and now scientists, they have diverted their attention, and they have developed the tool in the laboratory to make the change in genetic sequence, and that we call as a CRISPR, that is clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats. Now this we call as a CRISPR, and it works in collaboration with particular protein, that is CRISPR associated protein Cas. There are different types of proteins. We'll talk only on Cas9. So CRISPR-Cas system, it is a part of adaptive immunosystem in bacteria, and it defines again phages or bacteriophages. So bacteriophage is the virus that infects bacteria, and it can replicate itself only in bacteria. So we have seen what is the CRISPR. It's long form, or it is the acronym for clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats. Now what is it? This palindrome is a DNA sequence, and this DNA sequence, it is either there are two pairs or it is the complementary pair, and it is repeated after definite interval or some space. See, one simple example I will give you. Just we have one word or group of words, and this group of words is repeated after every sentence. Then what is the repeated? That we call as a palindrome. And it is repeated after some space. That space we call as a protospacer. Okay? So you can see here T, T, A, G, C, A, C. And in the downline we see C, A, C, G, A, T, T. So that sequence is reversed. This we call as a complementary, and this is the palindrome. And the mirror repeat, in the first figure it is inverted palindrome, and the second figure it is the mirror palindrome. So CRISPR, First time it was identified in bacteria E. coli in 1987. In this E. coli bacteria, when the DNA sequence was studied, it was found that there is a series of or a chain of 29 nucleotides. So this nucleotide, it is the basic building block of DNA. It consists of one base, that nitrogen base, either thymine or guanine or adenosine or cytosine, one base plus one glucose molecule and one phosphoric acid. Okay, so that is the nucleotide, and one repeat is made up of 29 nucleotide, and it is separated by 32 nucleotide spacer. And it happens when this bacteria is infected by the virus. When virus infects the bacteria, bacteria fights with it with its own immune system and it survives. And when it survives out of this infection, it cuts the fragment of virus DNA and it stores it as a memory. So in future, next time, when the same virus infects the bacteria, it can easily identify that bacteria and it can easily fight it. So how it happens? So there are two types of proteins, Cas1 and Cas2. So these nucleases, they identify this is the foreign DNA, it is not our original DNA. So once it is identified, there is role of Cas9. Cas9, it cuts the part of that DNA fragment and it inserts it in the original DNA sequence of the bacteria. And so in the bacterial DNA, we get that protospacer, and that we call as a CRISPR. Now CRISPR, it works in association with the protein Cas9, CRISPR associated protein Cas9. It plays very important role in adaptive defense system. It is used for, yes, it is used for to cut the DNA. So there are, it makes a complex. One is guide RNA and other is the protein Cas9. So I will show you the figure, how does it work. So here you can see Cas9 protein, it has two nucleases. Then there is a guide RNA. It is made up of two RNAs. One is the CRISPR RNA, which has the sequence which is similar to the targeted DNA, and other is track RNA. So there is a complex formation. It is injected into the cell. Then this track RNA or a guide RNA, it identifies the position where we want to make a cut. And at that position, the Cas9, it cuts the DNA. And once the cut is made, the repair is done by two methods. One is HDR, homologous directed, and other is non-homologous. If some template, specific template is present, we insert that template, that is HDR. For this discovery, this is the Jennifer Doudna and Emmanuel Charpentier. For this particular discovery, Nobel Prize was awarded to these two scientists in chemistry in 2020. So what are the applications? It is used for genetic editing in plants, animals, human beings. One example I will tell you. If rice is there, there is particular gene which is responsible for absorption of heavy metals from the soil, and those heavy metals through dietary rice that enter our body and which are harmful. So by editing that gene, we can produce the high quality rice. To study genetic diseases and to treat the genetic diseases in prevention and treatment of genetic diseases. So there are some ethical issues related to it because it may lead to disruption of ecological balance because we are changing the genetic sequence. It may lead to genetic mosaicism in humans. So there are two different cells with different genotype, and there may be the designer baby, and it is very dangerous, that designer baby that is having the genetic sequence that we require. Okay, so this is my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. This is a really new topic to us, engineers. However, I think it will also finally somehow later on it will somehow connect to genetics also, because what yesterday I was talking about e-dimensional spaces, and this RNA and DNA are formed by proteins, and these amino acids are used for to bring in codons. They bring the amino acids and form the proteins. So these amino acids, number of amino acids are 20, and this is optimal number in e-dimensional space, because it is again nature works optimally. So I am also working on something like this, some research. So thank you very much. This is very and all the speakers, they brought in some new points, new ideas, and I'm very feel opportunity, and I got opportunity to chair the session. I'm very thankful for your cooperation. Thank you very much.